Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a Pro Tools session in the Hallam Pro Tools Studio, and I'm going to show you what settings to use, and we're also going to have a look at the input-output settings. So when you first start a Pro Tools session, you should see this dashboard. You're always going to want to choose session and not a project. And obviously give it a name. And then there's the main settings that you're going to want to change here or check. The file type, you would keep that BWF, broadcast WAV. Sample rate, 48 kilohertz. Bit depth, 24 bits. And quite importantly for this studio, you're going to want to check your input-output settings, because generally last used might not give you the best settings. Likewise, stereo mix will not work in this studio because we're dealing with 5.1 surround sound speakers. So the best settings for this room is Control 24 mix. So that's not C24 mix or any of the others that are quite similar. Control 24 mix. You can tick the interleave box. That's just how Pro Tools deals with stereo files. And then just make sure your location is correct for where you're saving your project, and create. This brings up a blank Pro Tools session. And we're just going to have a look at the input-output menu here, which is under Setup, Input-Output. And we can see that as we have chosen the Control 24 mix settings, the Output tab, which we're on at the moment, shows Control 24 5.1 surround. This makes output number 1 the left channel, number 2 the center channel, and number 3 the right channel. The others, left surround, right surround, and LFE or sub, take up the rest of the channels. But if you're only working in stereo, it's only really the left and the right speaker that you're concerned with. A lot of the times we have people with problems in here with the sound coming out of the left speaker and the center speaker only. And that's because generally when you deal with a stereo setup, 1 and 2 are your left and right outputs. But in here we've got left 1, center 2, and right 3. So that's very important. But that's okay for now. If I create a new track or set of new tracks, let's just create, let's say, 2 mono tracks, and then also let's have a stereo master fader. Okay, and if we switch to our mix screen, so from this window I'm going to go to mix. You can also do that with Command equals. That flicks between mix and edit. So I can see the output of my tracks here. So this is the input, A1, which is good if you're using the microphone in the studio. It should always be plugged into A1. And the output of that track is going to Control 24 5.1 surround, and the end part of that path is stereo, and that again is important if you're only working in stereo. Of course, if you are working in surround sound, you're going to want to choose one of these other options. But as you're working in stereo, this is correct. This is the default setting, so we're all good. We don't need to change anything there. So that's a brief overview of your input-output settings.